say community building is not merely a marketing tactic. Yeah, it is a strategic approach aimed at long-term relationship.
Hi, and welcome to another webinar series. I'm your girl Chinelo Ntagu, and on today's webinar, we will be talking about relationship between business development and community building. Our guest speaker today is Mrs. Nafisat Abubakar, a professional passionate in community development and social work, empowering and uplifting communities and contributing to business development. She will be sharing strategies on the relationship between building communities for business growth. So let's dive into the topic of today. Mrs. Nafisat Abubakar, you are welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for giving us your time. I know it's not easy to prepare and then come around and talk about this important discussion. You have the floor. Please tell us more about yourself before we go into the topic of today. Over to you.
All right. Good afternoon, Chinelo, and thank you for having me. My name is Nafisa Abubakar. I am Hausa Fulani by tribe. Growing up, I had my secondary school and primary school education in Lagos. And I came down to Kano to bag a diploma in educational management, after which I had my degree in community development. I'm a mother of 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. I am very passionate about community development. Growing up, especially with parents from the north, there's this act of charity and giving alms that they were really known for where we lived. So I had that passion came about as, the way of giving back to the society, especially people who are less privileged in that community. So, I've been nurturing that in me. Like, I want to be like my parents when I grow up. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, I emulated a lot of what they imbibed in me, try in my own bit to give out to the society the best way I can. I had the privilege of working with a few non-governmental organizations. Currently, I am the deputy state coordinator of one of the NGOs, Give Free Africa, who are also passionate about humanitarian activities, lined up with a couple of activities, trying to curb the menace of drugs abuse, child trafficking, give Ramadan feeding, build street schools, bag of care, and to mention a few. So that's that about me. And I am very passionate about writing too. I love to write, I read books, but due to the nature of my work, it's been a while I, laid my hands on any book lately.
Thank you so much for that brief introduction about yourself. Can we go directly today? We will talk about the relationship between building a community and business development.
First things first, it's very important as a business owner to realize that, business development and community building goes hand in hand. They're just like 2 sides to a coin. While the businesses provide economic backbone for that the communities need to thrive, communities, on the other hand, offer the social and cultural support that businesses need to grow. So when both are nurtured together, they create a sustainable environment that fosters long-term success and prosperity. Building of communities can be very effective for business owners, and it can help it grow because it's through the communities that you can establish trust and loyalty. And some of these factors can improve the prospects of a business at large. Now, let's quickly talk about some of the strategies for building communities and how these strategies contribute to business growth. But before we go into that, it's important to have an understanding of community building. The basic principles surrounding, community revolves around people that you share common interests with, values, goals, you just name it. Now, building communities for business purpose cultivates an environment of belonging between customers, employees, and stakeholders. To your brand, within the community members, when that is built, the type of connection that will foster engagement, trust, and loyalty, for long-term business successes comes up. As any business owner, if you're looking to set up a business, there are some things that you have to bear in mind. One of which are you should define the purpose and the goals of the community. Now, when we talk about the purpose, we have to clearly define the reason why we are building a community or why such community should exist. Bearing questions in mind like, this community I want to build, is it to offer support? Or is it to share knowledge, or to build a brand loyalty? Now, this clearly explains that a clear purpose brings the right members to your doorstep, to your business. And, it can help, your engagement with them can help your business remain intact. Then the goals, we're talking about you having a clear, specific, and measurable goal for that community. As a business owner, you should allow the goals reflect in your brand awareness. Like, how much do you create awareness for your brand and how do you do it? Is it through sponsored ads, giving discount sales, or even giveaways? With this, you can attract new customers, thereby having an idea on how satisfied they are. If, on the contrary, they are not satisfied with what you're doing, then you have to go back to your building blocks, to tailor your products to suit those needs. That way, you're on the same page with your community members. While for the psychographics, you should pay keen attention to the kind of lifestyle they're living, their interests, and even their most preferred communication channels. A lot of businesses, you'll realize that now there's no business that is thriving that doesn't have a community of users. They create communities on WhatsApp groups, Instagram, and the rest. It's very pertinent for you to consider their preferences. Do they like the medium you're using for creating that awareness or otherwise? When you have this information handy, will enable you to tailor your community experiences accordingly. Like if you feel your community members would rather engage with you via your website, do the branding that is needed there. Create that visibility so that whatever it is they need, when they go there, they find it. You should also consider it in mind that they should have an easy access, to a broad audience and tools for your engagements. Community members should enjoy that privilege. When we talk about branded communities, think about creating a dedicated community platform on your website. This will allow you to have full control over the user experience and, have a heavy brand integration in that community that you've built. Now, this simply implies that, for instance, let's say you want to start up a fashion industry focusing on, let's say, corporate outfits. You should create an appealing interface, like curating offers, contents, and events that will catch the interest of your users. Like, for instance, you have to have a full control of your audience. The next on the line is offline communities. Business owners most times tend to consider exploring, local meetups, workshops, or any other event to build comradeship between their users and themselves and the business owners, especially for brands that are working on personal contacts. When people come together for the same reason or for a purpose. They build a kind of network, be a source of information for your community members, like offer tutorials, webinars, write articles that are very engaging, come up with resources that are bound to educate the community members on new things, like the trends in marketing, what branding entails, sponsored ad, marketing strategies, and what have you. And encourage community members to share their experiences, their own business tips, or even success stories. This can be a very powerful tool that can help you enrich the community, the members who are more active in your community. Like give them shout outs, badges, recognitions. That, with that, they tend to feel important. Try and prepare a very clear guideline regarding maintaining that community standard that you set, and give them, an inclusive space to come in to share their any information or any prospects that can help you to move your business forward. So the issue of leveraging influencers and advocates or brand ambassadors, so to say. When you collaborate with either influencers or loyal customers to become an ambassador of your brand within the community, it helps to attract new members, and this can in turn earn some credibility for your brand. As a business owner, it's also good to give leadership opportunities, like you offering leadership positions to the community active members, like I mentioned earlier, like making them be moderators, or even group leaders or group admins. This empowers them and reinforces their attachment to that community. It's important to also measure key metrics, including membership growth. What are your engagement rates with your community members, and how far your content has reached. Use this insights to continuously improve your community strategy. Engage with the members of the community regularly to understand their needs and preferences, or to even have information, because community members give you the most full review on any products they are getting or any services being rendered. It is through those feedbacks that you get from them that you can be able to realize where you're having lapses or what is it you're doing well, and you need to, put in more effort to bridge that gap where there are lapses in your business. Entities should use communities, right, to crowdsource ideas for a new product feature that they want to launch on an app. It assures the users that they have a say in what you want to do, okay? Like giving you that privilege to be a source of information with regards to that particular feature you want to create on an app. Also, the issue of create cost-effective marketing where content creation comes in. The same can be proposed for user-generated content to from the community for any type of marketing campaign, which may help to reduce content creation costs to an extent. There's also the issue of organic growth. Since communities, naturally grow organically through members, referrals, and even advocacies, the dependency on paid advertisements goes down drastically. And then, forums like community building can serve as a testing ground for new ideas, enabling a business to receive feedback, positive feedback, and then this in turn helps to fine-tune your offer before, venturing into a bigger sphere, that's the bigger market. So a strong community can help to differentiate businesses from its peers, creating a value proposition that is not easily copied, and also creates a barrier for new entrants, for businesses who are your strong competitors. A loyal community, properly put in place can create a barrier for other people to come and just barge into your business, steal ideas and want to build on it.
And how can the business help the community with issues that they have? For example, there is something the community really needs, and then their representatives go to the business owners. How do you feel that the business owners can help the communities to achieve their goal in solving the problem at hand?
That's where communication comes in. It's very important to maintain a very good channel of communication, so that anywhere there's a barrier anywhere that there's a barrier in communication, issues are bound to happen. So when there's a good communication channel between community members and business owners, whatever issue it is community members are facing will be trashed effectively between the members of the community and brand owners or business owners. So communication is very important.
Okay. And if there are conflicts within the community and the company, for example, there's a conflict somewhere, maybe the communication didn't go well. How does both parties?
There has to be a proper channel for resolving conflicts in any organization. Give a listening ear, carry the community members along, know where they're having issues with you. Most there's an also adage that says which simply means stooping low for the dwarf wouldn't make you get tired. That's you stooping down low to their level is giving them room to believe that, okay, this person has us at heart. So there should be a conflict resolution methodology that needs to take care of whatever conflict that exists between community members and business owners.
Okay. What do you think about empathy? Does empathy play a role in business growth? And how does this relate with communities?
Because empathy is a very soft skill that everyone needs to possess. Be it in your house, your workspace, business, you just name it. Empathy here means, putting yourself in other people's shoes. How would you feel if you were to be in this person's shoes? So you have to be very empathic in whatever it is you're doing, so that people don't feel they are out of place with whatever it is you have at heart. So empathy is very, very important in whatever it is you're doing.
Okay, so what's your statement for those who will be watching? What would be your advice when they want to start a business and thinking about building a community? What advice would you give them? How should it go?
Okay, I would quickly just say community building is not merely a marketing tactic. Yeah, it is a strategic approach aimed at long-term relationship, very strong relationship that coexists between community members or business owners and their customers leads to brand loyalty. So whatever it is you want to do, always be considerate of the community you're building and the people you're reaching out to. That way you try to get a hold of them, and then you feed off each other, with each other supporting the other, community members supporting you, and at the same time, you also giving support to the community members.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Nafisat Abubakar, for your time. And your energy is very important in the business building and in your community as well. So you've heard it from well. I hope you were able to take one or two nuggets from what she has put out there. Thank you so much for your time. And we have come to the end of today's webinar, and we'll be saying, see you next time and stay blessed. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you for having me. Bye.